Hello, Steve Mills here, and welcome back to my podcast called Results, all about getting more results, better results, and improving your results. So it's great to be back sharing, as I said, some ideas with you and ways in which I believe you can grow your business. I've been doing this a long time now, and I'm sure, you've been in business. It could be anything from, you could be a startup just kicking off your business. You could be someone who's been in business like I have for many, many years. And perhaps you're someone who's been in business and they just don't seem to be able to, get their business above a certain level. That could be, the 30, 40 grand that you're making as a one-man band per year. It could be that you've got to you've got a couple of 100,000 coming in and perhaps you employ a few, a couple of people or a few part-time people. Or perhaps you hit the £1 million mark and really you'd like to get to, maybe perhaps 10 million and you're really struggling to get your business much above $1 million or two. Whatever the level, I really do believe you're in the right place. So I've got some interesting thoughts for you. If you think about marketing, the true way, if you're going to do better, if you're going to improve your business, if you're going to grow your business, and more importantly, if you're going to grow your profit, there are only two ways. And those of you who've listened to my podcast before, I know you know what I'm going to say. And that is to reduce your costs or to increase your sales. That is it. That is the only way of making more profit. And again, you've heard me say many times that you can reduce costs immediately. You can go and save something. You can reduce your costs today by something. But there's always a measured amount. You can't spend nothing. And even if you did, that would still only be a certain amount of profit in your business. And the only way really to gain exponential growth is to increase sales. And there's only really two ways of doing that. One is to increase the number of leads that you get, and two is to convert more of those leads into sales. Now, I know that there's the old marketing proverb about three ways of growing a business. One is to get more customers. Two is to get your current customers to buy more from you each time they spend money, and three is to get them to come back more often. And I fully respect that, and that's the old supermarket metaphor. Get more people in the door, get them to fill their basket with more stuff or more expensive stuff, and get them to buy from you. And that's been around for many, many years and is still very, very valid. However, what I want to talk to you about is something I call proof of concept. Proof of concept, for me, is probably lack of proof of concept is one of the biggest mistakes that I see businesses make. What do I mean by proof of concept? Well, what I mean is I see so many businesses going into marketing and they'll decide to do something. I'll use an example of going networking. A lot of small businesses go to networking events. And so what do? They sign up with something like, a BNI or a Federation of Small Business, 4N Networking, or one of the other, networking organisations. And please, I want to be clear, I'm not criticising any of those organisations. If anything, I'm criticising the business owners who don't have a system when they go to these events for winning business. And so what they do is they join, they pay their fee to be there, and perhaps they're just going to a local networking event where you don't ever pay a fee, a membership fee as such. You just pay your £15 per week for breakfast, but you work that out, that's £60 a month, and whatever that works out at per year, by the time you've done with travel and your time, that's probably cost you about 4 or 5 grand. So those of you who are thinking, well, networking's free, you're very, very, very wrong. And networking is a very expensive way of not generating leads. So if you think about this concept of getting proof of concept, then what we need to do as far as networking is concerned is to test the idea of networking by doing some of it, doing a small proportion of it, making sure that we are very, very clear in the way that we measure our performance, getting proof of concept, and then once we've got that, all we need to do is to roll that out. In other words, to do more of it. So let's put that in terms of some numbers, shall we? Let's say that you join the ABC networking group, and you turn up there and you go to, I'll use 10 meetings. You go to 10 meetings, and that gets you one lead, and so you convert 50% of your leads into sales. So we now know that you need to get or go to 20 events to get one sale. Now let's assume that your average unit of sale is £2,000. So that means you've got to go to 20 events. Each event is going to cost you, let's say, 3 hours by the time you've been there for an hour and you've got there and back and prepared and followed up, which you would obviously do, wouldn't you? So you could therefore assume that each £2,000 that you've gained has cost you 60 hours of time. Now, whatever time you charge out, let's say you charge £50, then you know that has actually cost you, I think that's $3,000. Am I mistaken? I'm not sure, but anyway, it's cost you a reasonable amount of money. And so, that's what I mean by proof of concept. Let me take a different example, because maybe that's not the best one. Let's say you do LinkedIn, right? And you start marketing yourself on LinkedIn, you start connecting to people, and you follow up with those people. So let's say the numbers are you connect with 10 new people every day, or you ask 10 people to connect. Let's say 7 of them say yes. You follow up on the phone with those 7. You manage to speak to 4 of them. And out of those 4, you get 2 meetings. And out of those 2 meetings, you get 1 sale. Again, you've got proof of concept. You know what your numbers are. So you know that for every day that you do that, let's say that takes an hour of your time. Every day you spend an hour of your time, you're getting 1 new sale. And whatever your average unit of sale is, then we can just increase that. We can just do more. And that's really what proof of concept is about. Let's say another example is you spend £100 on Facebook advertising, and every time you do, you get let's say you're paying 50p per click to your website, so you get 200 people visit your website, and out of those 200, let's say 10 of them fill in your form, and out of those 10 who filled in your form saying they're interested in what you do, you get 5 meetings and 2 sales, and your average unit of sale is, let's say, £1,000. So for every £100 you spend on Facebook advertising, you're getting £2,000 back. My question to you is, how often would you like to do that deal? For me, I'd do that deal every day, all day, and I'd never, ever want to stop. Now, how much would your marketing budget be? well, once again, my marketing budget would never really finish. I'd be very happy to spend £100. You know, if you give me £100 and I give you 2,000 back, how often would you like to give me £2,000? Would you like to do that every minute of every day? I know I would. And so, that's really what proof of concept will do for your marketing. Getting a really good understanding of what's actually working and what's not, and what you can do in your business to make sure that the results that you're getting from your marketing are working as effectively as possible. And without proof of concept, without knowing your key marketing numbers, without measuring anything, all you're doing is throwing money at the wall, hoping that some of it sticks, hoping that you're not wasting money, and hoping that what you're doing is right. And probably what you're doing is spending far less money on some of your marketing than you should be, and far too much money on other areas of your marketing that you clearly shouldn't be doing. And that, my friend, is what proof of concept is about, and that's why I am an absolute endorser of it. And that's why, you might want to come and work with me and let me help you to get proof of concept with each and every element of your marketing. So if you want to do that, then the first step of working with me is to come and meet up. Let's do a brainstorming meeting. Let's decide what we're going to do, how we're going to do it, how we're going to measure it, and how we're going to make sure that we get the best possible results out of what we do. If you want to do that, then the next step is to go to my website, which is www.stevemills, that's Steve and then MILLS.co. Just to clarify, that's .co. Okay, thank you very much for listening, and I look forward to speaking to you soon. Thank you.